have made so much effort to get links from this website. Now I want to disavow those links
Yeah.
from that. So it's kind of like you are doing the double effort, and then your website is going down.
All right, welcome to SEO Unveiled. Today, I've got a great guest. Mahendra Singh is with us. Mahendra has over 17 years of experience in SEO and digital marketing. Currently, he's working as an SEO manager at Peninsula Canada. This is Canada's leading HR consulting, health, and safety firm, a really cool firm. And then previously, he worked at a bunch of different agencies and in-house companies in North America focused on medium to large enterprises. Last year, he successfully migrated Peninsula Canada's website from a UK subfolder to a new Canadian domain. He also improved organic traffic by more than 50% quarter on quarter and improved rankings for the core keywords within a short span of time. He's a fan of testing and measuring, and I'm sure in this episode you'll hear a lot about analytics and ROI and showing results. And results matter at the end of the day, so I love this. His personal website is mseoconsultant.ca. So, Mahendra Singh, let's welcome you to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So first thing that I always like to understand, because people get into the industry in so many different ways, is how, why did you get into SEO?
So like after I graduated, like I have done bachelor's in electronics and communication back in 2006. That time I has no idea what is SEO. Haven't heard about this SEO, but my hobby is like my interest is more like internet surfing. So like looking, searching, and that time you used to go like cyber cafes. Not have every people have like a laptop and have like internet access that much. So like I'm more interested, and then I got this first job after completing my bachelor's degree in a digital marketing agency, and then they hired me like
Mhm.
SEO executive. So I so like I'm going to work on like internet and everything. So I'm so excited. That time I was not aware like what is exactly SEO, but over the period like I learned. I started with like directory submissions those days, like like when you submit into like and then you get bunch of links, does your website start ranking? You don't like it's changed over like drastically over 17 years of my spam, but that's how I able to know like there are a lot of things apart from like the like submissions. Like you have like strategic thinking, you have to do analytics, you have to analyze the websites. So that's how I got my more interest into this field. And over the period I've never looked back my degrees like in electronics, but I'm able to like going through and then providing whatever I can learn from others, and then learning from the community as well. So I'm here now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story. It really, you really started to date yourself because you're talking about, all the directory submission stuff and how important it was. And
Yeah.
I remember doing that stuff back in like 2004 and how important that was back then. So, I mean, I feel like my SEO journey started probably a similar time that yours did, sidetracked and then came full circle back. But I really love that you've been in it for a long time and you were just kind of curious. It's super cool. It's such a good field to be in if you're like curious about stuff. So first off is what trends in general are you noticing in SEO right now that you're really excited about?
So Google is like all about their users. So they want like everyone to come. They have like good experience when you're looking for something. So obviously, like what they are trying to achieve, you have to understand like over the period they have changed their search engine like over the 17, providing the relevant results. So the first thing I will like is user intent. Like when you're searching something, what kind of like results you're looking for. So you have to understand the intent behind the searches, like the search term, that the query. So you have to optimize towards that intent. So that's like the most important thing that you have to, either it might be a commercial intent, it's informational, either it's looking for. So you have to look for what kind of results are coming in the searches, and based on that you have to optimize your like content, your website, so that you can fulfill the user intent. Second is like the content quality. So like Google is really working hard to provide the relevant information, the quality content to their users. So if you can think of your user perspective rather than just think of Google, You have to focus on your user, what they are looking for, how can you provide, how can you fulfill their what they're looking for, and they're in terms of like what they're searching. Because the thing what happens is like if somebody searches on Google and they didn't find the relevant information, they go back and search again, and Google sees this. And then if they think like your website is not able to provide the right information, they will change the results. That's how like they're changing the results. They're looking what people are searching and how our results are getting fulfilled. So you have to think of at the end user and try to optimize the content, providing the better information, providing, and then who is writing those content like EAT, like expertise, trust, and authoritativeness. Like Google is focusing on that aspects, like who is providing, who is the renowned author behind that content, what kind of like information they're providing. So if you focus on those aspects, you're able to. And apart from this, there are other things like localization of SERP changes, featured snippet, structured data, rich results. Like if you add a schema and all those things, so that you can provide more information, like you can show up the reviews, you can show up like product information along with your search results. That will also help to people to click on, get more informations within the search results, like it's better user experience. Also other thing like core web vital page speed. So Google is like continuously providing better user experience, how you can get to the website quickly, because they don't want, you don't want to wait when you click on the website to load that much time. So you want like it's load fast, how fast your page is loading. So these are like few, and obviously they are like they are moving towards AI and natural processing. So they are like giving Google technology is getting updated every year, like every time they are getting more closer what they are what the user is looking for, and then trying to fulfill. So these are like few
Yeah.
things that you have to focus on,
I mean, so
like I'm focusing.
yeah, you're focusing on a lot of stuff there. There's so much there. I want to unpack some of
Yeah.
that. So, when it comes to like user intent, this is one of the first things you talked about is like understanding what the user really is trying to get out of the results and that search intent, that the user's intent. Like, what are you doing? Anything else? Anything specifically to kind of tap into that to really understand that? Because I feel like you can talk about the kind of user side and the emotional and understand the person, and then we can switch over to the technical side of some of the performance and other things like that. But let's is there any other tactics that you're using there on the search intent?
So the best way to figure out like the user intent is just look out the searches. The simple way is just type those queries and see what kind of results are already coming. So it might be like a video is coming, it's might images are there showing up, it's might like FAQs questions are. So you have to see like what results Google is already giving. There will be some information, and then based on that, you can decide what kind of like content I have to create. Either it's a video, will bet best fit for, or it might be a like image, it might be so based on that you have to decide, and then start. Because the biggest mistake people do is just start writing content. They think like this is the keyword and then we have to put the keyword in the content. The start is without thinking what kind of results Google are giving, what kind of people at the end of the they are getting, they want to know. So you have to think strategically like user intent, and then based on that you have to decide what kind of content would be fit in that.
So it's interesting because you're like starting, you throw a keyword in, you see what's going on in Google, and then you're kind of evaluating like the competitive landscape and saying, okay, maybe we've got a piece of content that we're trying to get ranking for this, and it's not ranking that well. And maybe it's just written content. And you can see that images and videos and a few other things are ranking really well. So then maybe you cater your content to having infographic and a video incorporated into it or something like that. Is that right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, you are right. Like this is the maybe like even the FAQs you can have like maybe you can put some question and answers. So you can also look into the results, like is people also ask question, what kind of like questions are. So you can add all those and you try to make leverage all those content and try to add better content so that you can outrank them, which is
Oh,
already
I mean,
ranking.
it's kind of cool how you're taking, the competitive perspective, but using it as more of hey, what other kinds of content are they having? What kinds of content am I competing with? Not necessarily like what is kind of the basic, outline or the theme of the content, or maybe I'd make a definitive guide of XYZ search term because everybody else is ranking for kind of a guide or something like that, but nothing's labeled that. But you're talking about, hey, incorporate a lot more multimedia, incorporate other things that are ranking well so that your piece can start to stand out because it incorporates all the different pieces that Google's looking for. I love that. I love that. Cool. So, jumping over to kind of like the more technical side of things of the same kind of thing. So you start with understanding kind of the search terminology, and let's kind of go full circle. So what on the technical side for page performance or core web vital stuff are you doing that is really interesting? What kind of tactics are you using there?
So we usually like use some of like tools, just look for how like page load is there. So look for page speed, like how the quickly website is loading, and then what are the errors, like where we can improve. It's like JavaScript, delay JavaScript, or we have to minify CSS, or we have to put lazy loading, we have to optimize our images. So we have to look for like page speeds aspects. This is one, and the other will be like look for the audit side of thing, like whether it's there are like even broken links are there, is there any kind of like, you can use different tools like Screaming Frog, Ahref, SGMrush. These are like, and even the Google Search Console, like Google gives you some of like crawl errors that you can look into your, where you're like, you can look into what kind of errors that you're facing, and then you can work on those errors. So try to in my case, I prioritize based on the impact, because if it's like a enterprise site or big site, you can't fix all the errors at the same times there, and there are like so many errors. So you just focus on like, just maybe I start with the broken links because that's are more critical. Is it something that you can fix easily, like how much time you can spend and what's the impact on that? Then based on that, you need to prioritize and look for all those technical errors, and then try to work around those ones to improve and get better.
And I mean, when you're choosing those kinds of things to prioritize, you talked about broken links. I think about, well, hey, if you have broken links and you're using a CMS, then you can go in, or someone on your team can go in and do that. It's a lot different than if there's if you have to lazy load something, you need a developer typically to add stuff like that. Are you dealing with the CMS and then a dev team also, or you have a different kind of format to what you're typically seeing?
So as of now, like we're using WordPress, so it's simple. So some of the stuff like changing the links or broken links 301 redirect. So I do it by myself. But when it comes to more like technical, where like lazy loading JavaScript, then we use like we have a developer. So we raise the tickets, and then it's like 2 weeks of a sprint, and then
Yep.
they work around. So we work with like developer, and then try to understand like this is the issue, and then how critical is it, and then based on like that we prioritize, or like this is critical that we need to fix on broken links obviously, and then the other aspects, and then they work on those ones.
So how are you getting those initiatives prioritized?
So like as I told you, like we look for based on like how much impact they are. Like if website is broken, is the page is not working, some of the pages, then it's like it's priority, and then we raise the ticket, we just tell, and then try to fix it on the same day or like within 1 or 2 days, because that's directly. But if you look for something like crawl errors, or you have to like page speed, it's like where they have to test. And then the way that we work is like we test it on the not the live website, we have like dev and testing
Hmm.
website. So we put it in, everything will be tested in a testing website, the environment, like we do bunch of stuff there, try to see what works, how we can improve the page speed. And then when we done that implementation, then we test it, the developer tests it, then we our team tests the website on different parameters, like all the forms are working, all the things are working, and then once everything is good, then we push it to the live website.
Cool. Cool. So you got your dev or staging environment, you push it to prod, you QA it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Okay. So, I mean, apart from kind of moving that forward, are there any challenges to getting kind of larger technical things accomplished if you don't have the manpower or you don't have the developers that you need, or are there any, large initiatives, and how does that go typically?
So large initiatives, like it's just we need to get approval, like when we are looking for any measure how it's going to impact. So firstly we prepare like what changes we are going. If it's like a straight away, it's simple, then it's easy to like get approval. But
Yeah.
if it's a large like design layout or something that you want to change based on
I,
the, then it's
I,
kind of like you have.
yeah. I'm wondering how you got that UK subfolder to move over to new Canadian domain prioritized. That seems like a big initiative.
No, no. So is it, this is was like they already have their
Yeah.
mind, so they have already decided, because the thing is like they want Canadian domain as a separate entity, because the UK is different country and everything different. They don't want like people come and then think of like it's a UK brand and then they
Yeah.
go on to. So they want like the Canada should have their own separate entity and separate domain. So they have already decided that we want to move to the challenge was that like to move over the traffic, because they don't want to lose any traffic the same time.
Yep.
So it's like we have to keep, and then they're also migrating their CMS. So previously they're using Embraco, and then we moved to the WordPress. So it's kind of like different CMS. So
Yeah.
making sure like, and then what pages we have merged few pages, what are the important pages are there. So the SEO is more critical when you're migrating, what pages you need to merge which are bringing traffic. You can't those just to close that one. So obviously there was like business, and they hired me that time before they want to migrate. So they especially hired me to migrate the website, but because that was their main goal is to properly migrate. And then so it took me like 2 months 3 months to look into all the pages just to make sure which pages we are merging, what title description, making sure there's nothing left over, page speed should be better,
Yeah.
there's no other like. So all those things we kept, it took us like 2 3 months, and then after that we migrated, and hope like successfully it get migrated all the traffic, and even it's improved after months of time. So
So,
this was
I
a
mean,
big achievement.
yeah, I mean, site migrations are something that people always end up doing every now and then, but it's always that, it's so rare that people don't have experience doing 100 site migrations. So, what kind of experience or tips can you give to other people about how to make that a successful site migration?
So when you're doing migration, make sure like there are a few things one is the 301 redirect. Obviously, when you're looking, so you have to make sure there are like similar pages and similar kind of like, and don't try to do too many things at the one migration. So maybe like you don't want to change all of the sudden like all the content, all the page layout design, all of thing. If you try to, because you are trying to say like I'm just putting this page to this URL like new domain, and try to keep the similar pages with the similar content, similar things, so that Google understand, obviously like this is your new domain and you are going to pointing. If you change all of the sudden all the content and the things behind, it might get distracted. So, and also the other thing will be like making sure you have like all the checklist of like page speed, like technical stuff, SEO audit, like all those pages. So making sure all those things you have done before you do the migration. And then one of the thing like in the past that we have done is start with the few pages and test it out rather than doing, or if it's a large, if it's a small site, then it's fine, you can just like in my previous company it's a small site, so we have done it's like rather than waiting for like. But if it's a large like enterprise sites, then you don't want like to put all together, because you want to test it how it works, few pages to the new, and if it's a traffic is moving from this, if it's not, then you can cancel that and then put it back and see what's there wrong with that, and then you can do it again. So it's better to do in phases rather than one go. That's how you can figure out if something wrong goes going wrong. You can proactively work on that instead of like you just do it once ago and then something goes wrong. It's kind of like devastating.
Cool. I mean, I feel like you really helped us like understand how to get through a site migration. I think splitting up sounds amazing. All the site migrations I've seen have been like new design, maybe the same content, but completely new design and complete new URL structure and new system. So I feel like it's a challenge to get only one of those done. But I like the idea of testing it and testing it before with a small number of pages and testing, one part of it. I think there's really smart to kind of piece it out like that. What do you think is something everyone in our industry is trying to do right now that you discovered a better way to do?
So one of the thing like I have done in the like recently is internal linking, like getting obviously to improve your rankings, improve your traffic is ultimate goal, but how to get so everybody is doing like backlinks from the external. Obviously, I know like this is the one of the thing like getting backlinks, but over the period I've seen like it's been diminished. Like if you see like few year ago that was like if you build a lot of links that helps to rank, but now it's Google understand it's like from where you are getting those links, how authoritative, how relevant are there, and based on that they will. And then I haven't done any link building from last 1 year from this company, like
Mhm.
and then we have done just internal linking to get those rank achieved, because that's like where you can focus more on putting like it's easy, just strategizing like how do we link our what are the important pages are, and how you can link from blog or other pages, how you can naturally flow from those pages and build those internal links to get rank, rather than just like going for link building, because that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and the results are like not as compared to when you are like I have done it here like with internal. Obviously I'm looking for building links, but just which are like very relevant and authoritative, rather than like I'm just building. So I think I have achieved some of the major keywords in top 3 or top 5 within like 2 3 months here, with
Yeah.
just the internal linking building strategy and the
Wow.
content strategy. So
Yeah. I
that
mean,
was like a big.
I feel like people still push link building, and not as many people are pushing internal link building. So that's really interesting. I really like that thought because you have so much control over doing the internal link building, and getting external links, getting backlinks is so challenging sometimes, or expensive, or I
Yeah.
think you make a
even
really
even
great.
I can tell you an example, like it's not like my experience with like link building, not link building, like it was like when I was in 2017 with like a software is Stellar Data Recovery, a software company. So they have created like thousands and thousands of links from micro website, just backlinks,
Yep.
and all of a sudden like Google penalized those ones, and then it eventually like gets. So if you are not doing it right, it's better not to do that one. And then even like if sometimes you get like backlinks from a website, what I have seen they have changed, the website is good as of now, everything is good, but what happens like because you don't control that website, and maybe like 6 months down the road they change their website, they start getting from bad links, or they're putting not good content, so their website get penalized, and
Yep.
then you're getting link from those ones. So obviously you have to remove those links. You have made effort to get links, and now you have to made effort to get remove those links, so it's
The
kind of
good
like
link
double
becomes a
effort.
bad link.
Yeah, links. So I've seen many website that I have placed like in past, we have contacted, try to get them and then link them, and then after 1 year I just saw that website is just crazy, like they have like all the bad stuff on there, like they're putting like bad ads, like not like porn ads or all those kind of thing on there. And
Yep.
then I've made so much effort to get links from this website, now I want to remove disavow those links
Yep.
from that. So it's kind of like you are doing the double effort, and then your website is going down. So
Wow. Wow. That's that's so challenging. Um what do you think that everybody in our space should stop doing these days?
so stop is like I would say like gray hat techniques. So
Yeah.
looking for like short term results, you think like okay I get this maybe paid link from this website, and my website like it's 90 da, and then I will rank from. So you thought like it's a short term, I can like everything like if you think of like getting results in short term, then it's not good. Look for like longer term and long results rather than going into gray hat or black hat technique. Just
Yeah.
not trying to manipulate like Google search results or user experience. So that will some point of time your website get penalized, or those ones especially who are doing SEO, or business owners. Even I would like to say, like, just not think of like, because every time when they think of SEO budget, they just try to minimize. Okay, how should like I minimize, where should I can get quickly results. So if you get quickly results, it might not good way there. So that's why I just not do any kind of like black hat and gray hat, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day you will not get succeed in those ones.
Yeah, I mean, if you go
And
up just because of a grayish technique and then you come right back down, it's kind of you kind of get where you started, or if you get worse, it
yeah.
sucks. I'd love to kind of understand. You talked a lot about, like, the internal links working for you and a few other things working for you. What have you tried, that just hasn't worked?
um hasn't worked for me, like link building, one of the stuff that I already told you,
Okay.
didn't work for me as
Okay.
like. And also like writing too much content without any direction, like without any purpose. Like if you think
Yeah.
of like, I will put a lot of content on my website and then I will cover all those keywords like fast and start ranking. So this is a mistake that I have done a little bit like in the past, where I think like putting just the content will help you to rank. It's
Yeah.
not. So you have to think strategically what your user personas, what they are looking for, and then how you can fulfill their goals. And then I guess as content is a part of the journey to fulfill like your buyer intense journey, like informational or like whatever type of content. So you have to create, and I'm also working on right now to improve my content marketing process to a next level, just so that, because that's the biggest thing that you can uh, do to improve your traffic, because we also say like content is the king in SEO.
Yeah. Well, um, I'd love to transition to spotlight a little bit on you about, any projects you're working on or anything you'd like people to know. Is there anywhere you'd like, people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so like I'm working on like many projects like within the company. We are working towards like improving the page speed, working on like our improving on content marketing process, to how we can scale up content, how we can fulfill more what people are looking in our like B2B health, HR and safety companies. So how we can help them to get more information, how can we be a thought leader in our industry.
Yeah.
So we're working towards that. And then if anyone wants to contact me, I'm always happy to share, always willing to learn from others. So they can contact me, like reach out, go to my website or LinkedIn, like. And then my email ID is singhmahendra20 at gmail, or they can mahendra at mseoconsultant.ca. So feel free to reach out me regarding any questions, or like just to for any discussion related to SEO or digital marketing.
Fantastic. Okay, that sounds great. So, Mahendra, thank you so much for spending some time today. I think you've got some valuable tips in there. I loved hearing all about your stories, from internal leaking to the UK subfolder to a .ca domain, and how backlinks are not as important as maybe you think that they are. There's been so many good things that you touched upon today in such a short amount of time. I really appreciate you for sharing your story. So many people are going to find this episode valuable. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.